This week on Ascended Warrior, we tackled the subject of dehumanization. Why cultures have used tactics to make people seem less than throughout the centuries, millennia. This is going to be a card reading to support that message, to bring in higher messages around this topic. And for today's reading, I'm going to be using the Path of Light Oracle card by Anthony Salerno. So this is the heart of the situation. Responsibility, the number 7. And this also brings to mind the tree of life, the Kabbalah, the rungs on the tree of life, which are intended to bring challenge into our lives so that we can evolve and ascend. The first step being fire. In this phase, we burn away all that no longer serves us. It's the first step in alchemy. The first step in awakening is to get rid of the darkness, acknowledge that the darkness isn't real, and burn it away. And you see all of these loops up on this tree, on this ladder of life, all of these options to move away, to take other paths. Free will is such an interesting concept when it comes to spirituality, because I do believe that we create syllabus for our lives, but that doesn't mean we don't create every eventuality, including the various pathways to deviate from the pathway that we want to ultimately lead. And each one has opportunities. Each one has joy and sadness. But it's all filtering up, all up through these 7 stages. The responsibility of the soul to evolve. The responsibility of the soul to take this journey. This isn't a small thing to deal with. This ability to see each other as connected and as one entity. This is a major part of the evolutionary cycle. It's a major part of our goal as spirit, as souls, is to conquer that fear, to remove the blinders, not just to waken up to the fact that there is more to the world and spirituality is real, that we are beings of spirit. We're not human. But a huge part of that, and a part that is keeping us, that constantly derails our journey and takes it off into these spirals, is our unwillingness to see other people in that same truth, that they are also beings of light, that they are also spirit, that they are divine beings. And when we see other humans in the world as human instead of spiritual beings, we deviate. We're taking a branch. That doesn't mean we won't continue to evolve, but it's a lesson that we ultimately have to learn. It is our responsibility to learn that our separation is an illusion. Our being better or worse than is an illusion. Being prettier than, uglier than, taller, fatter, slow, quick, various religions, various ethnicities, all of it's an illusion. And it is our responsibilities when we choose to go on the evolutionary path, which every being on this planet has chosen that for themselves, to remember our oneness and our connection. It is our responsibility. It is a major part of our ascension, the 7 steps of ascension. And it is one that is constantly hindering us. Now, in the past, when our souls have come into this incarnation, we've been able to do a lot of our evolutionary growth without connecting to other souls. This card says work without attachment. It was a very solitary journey, and it's something I've talked about in the past. This solitary journey of evolution being where a lot of spiritual beings felt called to go, a single flame in the middle of the ocean, a single flame on the wind by itself, evolving by itself. It's a laser focus to have that solitary journey to evolve without worrying about the human, without feeling attached to humanity. This is where we saw a lot of growth in the past. But as you can see from this card, and as I'm clearly been hearing in spirit from messages, this solitary journey, this isolationist spiritual growth has pretty much taken us as far as it can. It's time to grow as energy, as souls. Our challenge is we're piecemealing it. We're doing this in moderation versus taking giant leaps of faith. There's so much shadow around us, so much darkness, and we are hopping through these little beams of light. We're looking for something to, so I'm hearing this message. We're looking for something to illuminate our path for us. When in fact, we are the illumination. We are the illuminators. Every card here has this beautiful singleton lights, and there's one here at the end of this path too. This is limiting. We are limiting ourselves by looking for others to give us a way ahead, looking for spirit to give us a way ahead, instead of lighting the way ourselves, allowing the way to pull us forward, allowing the energy to pull us forward. In the channeled message, it talked about frequency, and I've been hearing so much about frequency lately when I channel. It almost feels like a game of hot and cold. As you get closer to your target, it starts to feel, people say hot, hot, hot until you vector into where you're trying to get. It feels like that is what's happening, but with frequency. When we are on the right path, when we are connected to our light, when we illuminate, and we're trying to figure out, we're at a spoke in this tree, we're trying to figure out which way is the right path for us to take. Frequency can be our guide. It will get louder. It will feel more vibrational, more magnetic when we are facing the way that is in our highest good. So thinking about looking at two options, and you've got one in each hand, and feeling which way pulls on you, which way vibrates with frequency and energy. Feeling yourself as a being of light, just kind of just elevating your light, illuminating your light, and allowing your light to point you in the right direction, to illuminate not just the individual path, but the highest path. So because we've had these stepping stones of light, we have made moderate growth versus what we could be making. And the way ahead for this, practicing what you preach, it says discipline at the bottom. But this is something, this is leading with our true selves, disciplining ourselves to connect to our light, to illuminate. We're making this, We're making giant leaps in the evolutionary cycle. So the cycle of 7 has been the process forever. The cycle of 7 is a very, throughout traditions, 7 comes up as a sacred number of ascension, and it is our responsibility to take that as souls. However, there's something new here. So instead of the isolationist or growing in moderation, life to life to life, we come in, we learn a couple lessons, we ask for guidance, we ask if we are on the right path, we ask if we are, what our mission is, who are we, what are we doing here? All of this breadcrumb trails that we've been taking, the true discipline to leap and connect to our higher beings will make this stuff almost obsolete. It doesn't just move us forward faster. We're able to connect to spirit in the physical in a way that we've never been able to do before. No, and I'm being corrected on that, on a way that we have not seen before. We've always been able to do it, but we were following breadcrumbs instead of illuminating and connecting to our frequency and our innate abilities. We have the tools, the learning, the discipline. Nope, I'm being corrected on that one too. We have the tools and the learning and the abilities to connect to higher self, to move into alignment using frequency and energy, to illuminate the way ahead, to navigate the tree of life, to navigate through the 7 steps. What we need to develop is the discipline. Instead of calling out for guidance and help, we need to go within. We need to connect to our light and illuminate the way for ourselves. And this is representing the third eye, this beautiful blue white light here in this being of blue energy. It's like the roots of the tree have been pulled out of the ground. So it's no longer rooted into the 3D in the same way, because it doesn't need it to nurture or as nutrients. It is still showering light down onto earth because we still are here to be symbiotic with her. But it's elevated. We are this being. Instead of being rooted into this cycle, we elevate, and our way ahead is so clear. And it allows the connection to be so much more vibrant and present, and just these light beings all over. It's such a supported journey. There's so much light in all of the ways that it shows not just the support, but it is creating this light. It is the shadow above and below, which is like the canopy of the tree and the ground, don't really matter. There's this vibrant blue energy here. And I keep hearing that a big part of this is going to be speaking your truth. Blue being the color of the the throat chakra. Speaking your truth, using your voice to connect with frequency, verbalizing your choices to hear which frequency, to tune into which frequency works for you, which one is in your highest good, to use the tone of your voice to create the opportunities that are in your highest good, to dispel the shadow. Use your voice as the powerful, powerful presence that it is. Connecting your voice to your third chakra. Oh my goodness. I didn't mean to say third chakra. There is the yellow in the background of the third chakra. Connecting your throat to your third eye and to your solar plexus being your center of individual power. So it's connecting your chakras in this elevation of light and energy, but the frequency of the voice is really important. Using your voice for truth, being very careful about what you say, being very careful about the words that you use because they have power. They are putting out frequency into the world. It can illuminate or it can hide. It can obfuscate. It can confuse. So be very careful how you use your voice. And take that as a new responsibility, something to practice and become disciplined in. Your voice can create light, or it can create shadow. The choice is ultimately up to us. And that is why this question of dehumanization is so important, because it has for so long been a choice in our soul growth that we have failed at. We have constantly taken the easy path or the group path and gone into group think, where it's our fear makes us believe that other beings are less than. And we add our voice to it, we add our judgment to it, we add our heart to it, and it quickly deviates us from the path. And one of the reasons that is something we still deal with as a species is because most of our growth has been done alone. It's time for us to grow as a entity, as a species. And instead of growing in moderation and asking for guidance from outside for our path, we illuminate the path for all, using our voice, using our frequencies, and connecting our power and our throat to our third eye to ensure that our messages are of oneness. So a really beautiful message, and one to think about and contemplate. I would love to hear your feedback on this. Share your thoughts, share your insight. If you've got any additional messages to the cards, please post them as well. I'd love to hear them. If you haven't watched the full episode on dehumanization, please check it out on my YouTube channel, or on ascended-warrior.com. And I'm very soon going to be putting up a couple of windows each month for people to request oracle readings or channel messages for themselves. If that's something that interests you, please keep checking out my website for updates. And I'll be posting sometimes there. They'll be limited, but there'll be a wait list as well. So until next time, love and light.